pacing is way different 5e.
But yeah, pacing for loot, what the fuck's that? I don't.
You gave us a magic weapon that levels up with us.
I did.
That's partially pacing. But
Yeah.
I
do love that. I love
way to control pacing.
I love. Oh yeah, no, I love evolving. Evolving magic items is top tier. And no, I didn't steal it from Critical Role. I had that thought way before.
Well, there's something in older editions like evolving magic items, and now it's just starting to become.
Anime does that shit.
Yeah.
A lot of fantasy novels and like it's not.
Yeah,
Matt Mercer didn't invent the fuck. The vestiges of Divergence are cool, but it's not like Matt Mercer like sprung that idea out of nothing.
No, I just want to give a quick plug, kind of on that same like evolving magic items. Cobalt Press came out with a book not that long ago called Vault of Magic, and it's basically just here's a giant book of new magic items, and they have a whole section they called Fabled Magic Items that are evolving magic items, and they do it by level. Whereas like with 5e and Critical Role, they have the magic items evolve when you do a story bit or whatever, but it's up to the DM and the player, whatever. The Fable ones from Cobalt Press are actually based on levels, so it's like way easier to track, and so it's like, all right, level 5 this happens, and level 7 this happens.
Hold on though, point of contention on that one.
Yeah.
I don't think I like tying it to levels. I think I actually, and I know this is, before anyone points it out, I know this is contradicting my stance on Milestone XP because I'm about to say the exact opposite. I kind of like handing out the level up of the magic item as a story beat.
I like it too. I
like it that way more.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a mix. What were you gonna say, Isaiah?
Say it. I say it. Yes, I say it.
And just in response to Josh's statement,
I know.
I know. I have words.
Go ahead.
I think this is kind of the pot calling the kettle black. This is what I'm saying. I just think you're kind of backtracking in a different way.
It's all right. The difference. Okay. Now I have to. Josh? I know. Now I have to justify my stance.
Yeah. What's the difference?
I think the difference for me, right, is XP and leveling up and what's on your character sheet. All that shit is.
Wait, why did it zoom in like that?
Because
your camera just
I know
really quick.
It's because, all right, for everyone on the internet, I have to explain this now because you guys can't see it. I have an old webcam, so Discord fights with it a lot, so sometimes it fills the whole frame and sometimes it doesn't. So it just randomly zoomed in on my face. I have to get a new webcam at some point, but anyway.
Oh my God, that was so, it was right as you started talking.
I know. The timing of it was very funny. I know.
It's like, let me explain my point.
Yeah. That was so good.
Jesus Christ. This is gonna be a really weird segment because we don't have video.
Anyway, we can edit this out in post. Don't worry.
Oh God,
that's not how it works, Matt.
No, we're not editing this. We don't do that kind of. No. We don't do that kind of editing here.
Y'all don't even pay me enough for this kind of editing.
Oh shit.
Anyway,
wrong show.
Okay.
Got him.
So, XP, leveling up, character advancement, all that shit, right? That is all player-facing mechanics that are the thing that you as a player have control over. I, as a GM, don't get to tell you no, you don't use your ability or whatever, right? Like, I mean, I can't obviously story stuff, but like on a base level, the stuff on your sheet is yours. Loot and magic items and shit like that is different because that is a GM facing thing that you hand to the players. And if you're doing evolving magic items, I feel like it's better if you as a GM have a plan for what you want to do with the evolving magic item. And because that plan is GM facing, it feels less dickish, I guess is the only way I can put it, right? And also it lets you, let's say you have a magic sword and it's a +1, and you as a GM, you're like, okay, this sword's gonna evolve into a flame tongue. The idea that I hit level 6 and then suddenly I wake up and it's a flame tongue now feels kind of Whereas I go into the mountain and find the giant's forge and plunge my +1 sword into the giant's smithing forge, and then it transforms into a flame tongue from the magical fire of the giant's forge. That feels a lot cooler, and now I have more story to add to my character with that item.
Uh-huh.
So that I like more.
Yes, so I agree.
Not to tell you that you're bad at your job, all right, Josh. But like, it always just make it so that they can't do the story thing until they hit a certain level, you know? So it's both tied to their level.
This is true.
And it's tied to a
This
story
is true.
beat. Like, you know, no one's telling you that you have to specifically tie it to this. Only that.
I don't really like that compromise though, because that feels kind of weird to be like, all right, so you hit level 5, and like if you're using that Kobold Press book that Matt's talking about, right? Like level 5, it says my weapon upgrades, and then I as the GM go, well, no, it doesn't, because you have to do the thing first. That's kind of like needing to get a trainer for your level ups, unless you.
I mean,
talk about that way ahead of time. It's kind of, you know.
Okay, but like here's the thing though, if you don't, okay, all right. I'm gonna give you an example, all right? So let's say, like, I'm gonna, or at least try. I don't know. You're stubborn, like a mule.
All right, now the pot's calling the kettle black. Just so we're clear.
I never said that I wasn't stubborn.
Okay.
I think I'm fairly flexible when it comes to like rulings and shit, and changing the ways that I do things. In games.
That's true. Yes, you are very flexible when it comes to rulings.
So, but like, so for instance, all right, let's say that you're using the evolving magic. But you talk to your players, you're like, hey, look, you say, because, and here's my thing with not making it levels and just kind of making it things. Your players will just start searching for things to upgrade the weapon, and they'll just start doing wild things to do it. So what I would prefer to do is...
You're not wrong.
Yeah. So as a DM, you should, in the back of your mind, and this is DM facing, as you said before, you should have it so like, okay, so when they hit this level, I'm gonna give them this little plot hook. And this plot hook will then bring them to this point that will allow them to upgrade the weapon. Rather than being like, oh, and this is how you do the magic item pacing, because sometimes they're like, oh, they should have a +1 weapon by this point in time, or they should have a or this magic item by this point, like, or could have this because it's like an uncommon item and be kitted out at this point. Whatever, doesn't matter. So, for instance, like, let's say, we'll use your example of plunging your sword into the giant's forge, all right? So, like, you hit level 6, all right? And you're resting in this town or whatever, and, like, you hear this rumor about a giant's forge and how any weapon that goes in there comes out stronger, better, faster. Any adjective that you want to describe how the weapon just becomes stronger. And then players will immediately be like, all right, well, the DM is telling me something here. Stronger weapon. And then, like, you can go for that. And especially the stronger weapon thing. Better weapon, good. Me like better weapon. So then the players will have an active interest in it, as well as it's a plot hook. And you can turn that into, just like you were saying, but you tie that, like, you tie when these trigger to the character's level, whatever. Or, you know, you could do what I do with Isaiah learning how to do it, the cross counter, and upgrading it whenever he hits a certain point on his progression clock. But like, you know,
so you're saying combine the two?
Combine the two, yeah. So, because like I like